Welcome to Taylight Brewing. I'm the head brewer, Goldwin Chan. Taylight wasn't the first brewery to open up in Port Coquitlam. They were the first brewery to brew beer in Port Coquitlam commercially. Taylight Brewing is, I guess, the child of love of Jordy Anderson, Cam Taylor, and Barry Wright. Taylor, Wright, so Taylight. They opened their doors on August 2018, and I joined the company shortly after that. It's always fun to brew really hoppy IPAs, but it's always really fun to also brew really beautifully conditioned and balanced lagers as well. I wouldn't want to brew a beer over and over and over and over again. I want to brew something different and see how it turns out. So today we have a interesting pilot batch that we're going to be doing called the Mango Habanero Pale Ale. This brew is going to fall in line with a bit of a milkshake style brew. So there's going to be some lactose in it to give it a bit of sweetness. There's also rolled oats that will give it a really beautiful body, and mangoes and habaneros. So we're trying to go after, I guess, that kind of salsa theme. There's two conversion steps in brewing. The first conversion step is converting starch to sugar. The second conversion step is to go from sugars to alcohol, and that's the fermentation step. So the first part, after grinding and milling the grains, you add water to them, and you use the enzymes that are in the grains itself to break down the starches into fermentable sugars. That part is called the mash. So after the mash, we have to extract the converted sugars. How we do it is we actually use the hulls of the grain to separate, I guess, the unwanted parts of the grain from the collected sugars. It's a sugar water that's called wort. So we kind of filter it through its own bed, and we sparge it to rinse out every last little bit of sugar, and we collect it in the kettle. And once you're in the kettle, that's the time where you boil it and you add any additions that you need, such as hops. We'll probably add a habanero pepper in there just to give it a little bit of heat. After that part, we cool it down and we send it over to the fermenter. That's when we add the yeast, and we let the yeast do its job and create alcohol. Once we know that it's done its fermentation, we cool it down so the yeast goes to sleep, it drops out of solution, and then we're able to transfer it. So usually the aging part can be anywhere from 5 to 6 days to 10, 20 days if it's a lager. But this is a pale ale, so we'll probably only age it for maybe a week or so until we want to transfer it to a keg and rack it off. When we can, we usually bring in a mobile canning company such as Mile 37 or Vessel Canning. They just hook it up to our tanks. All the cans are loaded up at the back end of the canner, and they go through a quick rinse, and then it goes underneath, I guess it's like a corkscrew, and the corkscrew dumps out all the water to make sure the cans are free of dust or any debris. And during that process, there is a laser jet that date codes the bottom of the can. It's got a one-head seamer, and they just fill the cans and seam them one by one, and we literally stack the flats on a pallet. Well, thanks for visiting Taylight Brewing today, and hopefully we'll see you guys very soon. Cheers!